Well, look, I was under big pressure tonight to make my intro to our next guest pretty spectacular, but who am I kidding? He's won 2 Walkley Awards. Best I did was 3rd once in the Cleo Bachelor competition. Hamish Fitzsimmons, welcome to you.
That's what I was always really gunning for.
Big trophy. Yeah. Self-confessed cycling obsessive, OCD, obsessive cycling disorder.
Well, it tends to do that to you, doesn't it? It's something that just grows and grows. There's the financial commitment to it, I guess. So, yeah, I got into cycling really heavily after moving back to Melbourne a few years ago, where I realised I couldn't surf every day because the bay just wasn't doing it for me. And it's just, that obsession has just grown and grown, like with a lot of people.
A lot of us obsess about keeping our bikes clean. You found a way to have your bike as dirty as possible.
Yeah, it's amazing where mud can get and stay. Like cyclocross, it can get in everywhere. I found mud that's quite vintage or antique in some bikes. So yeah, it's quite impressive.
So you started an extraordinary series, the Dirty Deeds Cyclocross series here in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that.
Well, it started 4 years ago when a bunch of people who used to ride things called alley cats that cycling careers would do. And they thought, why can't we have a similar sort of thing for cyclocross? And the first race was sort of held sort of a guerrilla style. We didn't sort of tell any councils or anyone about it, which I'd just like to apologise to all those councils before. But it's become quite big because it's a really great spectator sport. I mean, it's run over a short course of about 1 to 1.5 kilometres.
Having a look at some of it now, this is the Dirty Deeds. It was actually run today, right? This
is the women's race. And our whole thing is about participation and getting people involved. And it's a really non-threatening sport because you can't really tell who's winning or who's coming where. So for people like me, it's great. I can just, tell everyone, I tell my kids I did really well.
I went and watched the prologue you had a couple of weeks ago. It was fantastic. Held at night on the Brunswick Velodrome. There were people everywhere. Great atmosphere.
Yeah, that's the main thing. I mean, you guys would know from cyclocross in the US and Europe, it's all about the atmosphere. There's sort of it's almost like a party or a celebration, and it's just such a great thing for people to get involved in for perhaps their first competitive cycling, because it's really, it's really inclusive and people are sort of genuinely happy for each other. Like with the women's race today, I mean, there was sort of cheering and clapping on the start line, people encouraging each other the whole way through. It's great.
Yeah, any sporting event that involves a party is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's right. We've been trying to figure out how we can get bans on different corners of the races, but haven't got there yet.
But it's taking off, cyclocross in Australia, isn't it? I know Robbie just went and rode a national series race in Adelaide.
Yeah, he's done a couple of races now, and it's one of those things, like everyone would probably expect him to go and just completely smash the race to bits, but he hasn't. Cyclocross appeals to different skills. I mean, you find people with really great bike handling skills are usually the best cyclocross riders, because you might get someone who's a great roadie, a great mountain biker, but they're not necessarily going to be the best. They'll be beaten by someone who's just really good at cyclocross.
Anna Mears has raced a couple of the series, is that right?
Yeah, she's raced in Adelaide, so we're pretty keen to get her over here, but I believe she's back in training for the Olympics, so yeah.
I can't imagine her track coach saying, get out there and just mash it up a little bit. What would be the percentage in a race of the people carrying their bikes to compared to cycling it?
It depends on the gradient. Some of the video you saw just before, there was a hill we had today which was pretty difficult. It was on a tight corner, so it was really hard to ride up. So a lot of people just find it easy. And it depends on the surface as well. If it's sand or really muddy, it's quite often easy just to pick your bike up and run. You also have to jump barriers too, and after lots of broken collarbones, people are really getting quite proficient at bunny hopping those barriers now.
There was some wonderful moment in the kids' race at the prologue. 2 kids dressed as Buzz and Woody from Toy Story.
Fantastic.
And they were being kind of sort of heralded by their parents, and then one of them was looking around like, where now? What do I do now? I'm on TV. It was terrific. But there were so many kids racing.
Yeah, and the cheers that the kids get, it just, it sounds corny, but it really makes it all worthwhile, when you see those kids having such fun. And a couple of kids have, gone on in the last 4 years, they've sort of maybe 12, 13 when they started, they've become really competitive racers now, so it's just been great to watch that.
What sort of numbers are you getting at the events these days?
Oh, we had over 200 races today.
Right.
Our biggest thing has been our first couple of years we didn't have a women's only category, so the last couple of years people with Dirty Deeds have been really pushing that. We've had the help of Cycling Victoria, who've been right on board as well. And this year the women's series has just really gone off. We've got some really great people involved who are really into it. And the quality of racing is just fantastic.
What
We're
about
expecting to see Bridie down there soon.
The crowds get into it in Europe, right? In the northern parts,
it's normally a winter sport in Europe. They race in the snow, mud. There's no reason why it can't be here, summer sport.
Yeah, that's right. Well, sort of thinking about putting races on in summer, but it's where the phrase "more cowbell" is most appropriate. You know, come down and make noise is the
We'd be
most
worried about the
acceptable
beer
thing.
swilling. I think that'd be dangerous for our summer sports.
Oh, the Aussie
That's
crowds
right.
will take to that. Hamish, best of luck promoting the series, and we hope it continues to grow. It's a wonderful initiative, and got some goodies for you. Maybe we can have that at one of the steep parts of
Yes.
the next race.
The green edge.
Very kind of you. Thank you very much.
Excellent, and looking forward to the rest day. We get feet get to go up on the sofas for the journos covering the race as well, so that'll be a nice respite into Monday.
It will be indeed.
Good on you, mate. Thanks for that.